We're live from Wrigley Field. It's a Hyundai leadoff man on WGN Sports. Fans filing in, clear skies above. Cold temperatures, however, wind blowing in. As the Cubs wrap up a 6-game homestand, it's the rubber game today as they host the Houston Astros. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to the Hyundai Leadoff Man. I'm Len Casper. We're all bundled up today. Should be a nice day, however. We've been dry all week. Temperatures up in the 80s by the middle of the week, but back down to more seasonal-like, maybe 40s, 50s here this afternoon. The Cubs come in at 5-6, trying to get back to 500 for the third time the last few days. Let's look in on the highlights of Game 2 of this series yesterday afternoon. Another cool day here at the ballpark yesterday, but again, lots of sunshine. The Astros got things going early on a fielder's choice from Chris Johnson in the second inning of Tom Gorzolani. That made it 1-0. And then J.R. Tolles, one of his 3 hits on the day, a bloop single into left, 2-0 Houston. Play of the game, Tom Gorzolani took a line shot off his throwing shoulder. Fortunately, Derek Lee got the out to get Pedro Feliz, and fortunately, it hit all muscle, no bone. So Gorzolani, who did face one more batter, came out after 3. Says he's going to be fine and should be able to make his next start on Thursday. 5th inning bullpen on. Jeff Gray facing that guy again, J.R. Tolles. He bangs one off the foul pole and left. That made it 3-0 Houston. And then in the 7th inning, Jeff Keppinger with an RBI single. 4-0, and that was really all Roy Oswalt needed. A victim of a lack of run support in his first 2 starts. He really was good, had his changeup working extremely well as he was able to barely get the win. It got a little crazy in the late innings as the Cubs mounted a comeback against Brandon Lyon. Aramis Ramirez with a 2-run double. Fukudome and Lee coming around to score. And Alfonso Soriano with a 2-base hit. Ramirez in 4-3, so the Cubs are within 1. That's unfortunately as close as they would get, as Fukudome strikes out against fireballer Matt Lindstrom. And the Astros, who lost their first 8 games of the year, have now won 2 of their last 3, 4-3 the final. Oswalt is 5th game against the Cubs, allowing less than 2 going back to August of 2007. More to come on the leadoff man, but as we go to break, let's look at today's Hyundai dealer of the game, Darcy Hyundai in Joliet. See the cars the experts are raving about at myhyundaichicago.com. The Hyundai Leadoff Man, brought to you in part by Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs. And by your Chicago Hyundai dealers. See the cars the experts are raving about at myhyundaichicago.com. Are you showing me something for the AutoZone? But do you have anything graphically? No? Can I see it? Hey, Frank, can I just get a little more of myself on the stick? Is that okay? Thank you. That'll help with 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Oh, okay. So I got to come up with something to watch him for, huh? Sitting 8 in a row and Dancy? Bill Dancy, Double-A Tennessee. Let's check in on the Cubs minor league report at AAA. Bobby Scales, a 7-game hitting streak. The High Cubs off to a 4-6 start under Ryan Sandberg. The hot team in the system, the Double-A Tennessee Smokies under Bill Dancy, they're off to a 7-2 start. Right-hander HOU AT CHN with an excellent performance. And Daytona, 13 hits as they shut out Tampa 9-0. Well, we have our AutoZone tip of the day. Every day from our Bob Brenly. And the other day it was to wear layers probably all season here at the ballpark. Today it's to watch Derek Lee. Derek with an 8-game hitting streak. And against Wandy Rodriguez, 14 out of 29, 3 homers and 9 RBIs. The tip of the day brought to you by AutoZone. When we come back, we'll talk about the Cubs starting pitcher Ryan Dempster as he battles a left-hander for the Astros. The Hyundai Leadoff Man, brought to you in part by Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs. And by your Chicago Hyundai dealers. See the cars the experts are raving about at myhyundaichicago.com. Well, the weather today probably not conducive to a lot of offense with the wind blowing in, but it's been a good homestand. We'll expand on that a little more with Bob Brenly here in a couple of minutes. But the Cubs averaged just 3 runs a game on their first trip. 6.5 here this week as they've gone 3-2. Now the starting pitchers. Ryan Dempster beat Milwaukee in the home opener on Monday. And the Canadian-born Dempster has no problem pitching in cooler temperatures. Wandy Rodriguez 0-2. The Astros have been shut out both times he has taken the ball. We'll have Cubs baseball coming up from Wrigley Field. Stay tuned for all the action.
The following is a presentation of WGN Sports. The following is a presentation of WGN Sports.
Live from Wrigley Field on a clear, cold, and windy Sunday afternoon, we're set for Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. It's the rubber game today, the Astros and Cubs, as the home team wraps up the homestand as we welcome Cub fans from all over the country watching on WGN America, America's home for baseball. Hi again, everyone. Bob Brenly and Len Casper. Scarf day at the ballpark. That makes a lot of sense. We were joking about it the other day when it was 80, but we're going to need it today. And the Cubs' offense has heated up as the weather did earlier this week.
You know, Len, it seems like any time a team opens a regular season on the road, they go straight from spring training to a road trip. They always bust out offensively when they get back home, and that has been the case with the Cubs. The .316 batting average, hitting well over .350 with runners in scoring position and scoring runs in bunches.
And they scored runs for Ryan Dempster, his first time out at home, as he'll get the ball for the third time this season.
Yeah, Dempster wasn't his usual self, gave up 5 runs in 6 1/3 against the Milwaukee Brewers. Fortunately for him, his offense did bust loose, scoring 9 in that ball game. Demps appears to be healthy, everything working well for him in the early going this season, especially that hard sinker and the split-fingered fastball.
For the Houston Astros, it'll be left-hander Wandy Rodriguez. He's become one of the elite southpaws in the entire National League. Off to a little bit of a slow start. He needs run support. He hasn't gotten any in his first 2 starts. The Mesmers are coming up with the national anthem.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above.
From the mountains, to the prairies, to the
oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Wayne and Kathleen Mesmer with our national anthem and God Bless America. The Astros and Cubs wrapping up this weekend series. We'll have the lineups and all the action coming up next. Milwaukee 10, Washington nothing. They got 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, AT&T and the Chicago Cubs would now like to take a moment to honor baseball's most valuable players.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Budweiser, with full flavor and a crisp, clean finish. It's what we do.
At second base, David Toro from Chicago. At shortstop, Julie Lamphere from Chicago. At third base, Jesse Goldberg from Chicago. In left field, Matt Ewan from San Diego. In center field, Eileen Nabrahan from San Diego. In right field, Anthony Toro from Chicago. And at catcher, Kyle Brooks from Woodstock, Illinois. Today's hometown team is being brought to you by AT&T, proud partner of the Chicago Cubs for over a decade. AT&T customers text Cubs to 2827 on the wireless phone from AT&T. You get an exclusive game day phone from every game every week this season. Send straight to your phone on game day. You'll also have a chance to win a spot on the hometown team of a future Cubs game. Maybe it could be you on the field. Just text Cubs to 2827, courtesy of AT&T. Proud partner of your Chicago Cubs. AT&T, your world delivered.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Budweiser, with full flavor and a crisp, clean finish. It's what we do. By Pepsi. Every Pepsi refreshes the world. Submit your idea at refresheverything.com. And by Illinois Lottery's newest game, Powerball Wednesday and Saturday jackpot start at $20 million. Today's game is available in Spanish on your SAP audio setting provided by WRTO, La Tremenda, Chicago's Spanish language sports leader. Great to have back with us Elio Benitez and Hector Fabregas on the Spanish play-by-play and analysis. So check them out on your SAP button as everybody's bundled up, ready for game 3 of this series. Cubs take the field behind right-hander Ryan Dempster. Sure, you hold down everything in the booth with the wind howling straight in today. Here's how the Astros line up, written out by their manager Brad Mills. Bourne back in there. Minor groin issue, didn't play yesterday as a precaution. Keppinger, Feliz back at his normal spot at third. Carlos Lee without an RBI this year, but he's killed Cubs pitching in the past. Benson right, Jeff Blum his first action of the weekend. Manzella the shortstop. Quintero the catcher, and Wandy Rodriguez already with a couple of knocks.
And let's check out how the Cubs take the field defensively behind Ryan Dempster today. Brought to you by Pepsi. Every Pepsi refreshes the world. Soriano in left, Bird in center. Xavier Nady getting a start in right field. We'll keep a close eye on that surgically repaired right elbow. He does have the wind at his back today, so that should help. Ramirez and Terrio on the left side of the infield. Baker and Lee on the right side. Giovanni Soto doing the catching today for right-hander Ryan Dempster. Hockey weather for the Canadian Ryan Dempster today. You see his numbers on the season. Mentioned he's had a real good sinker, a real good splitter working in the early going this season. On any given day, he can attack you with different pitches. We've seen him use a four-seam fastball in the early going this year, elevating it up in the strike zone. A patented sinking fastball, hard slider, hard splitter, and occasional straight changeup.
Chris Guccione will call the balls and strikes. Crew chief is Jerry Crawford. Ryan O'Nora and Phil Cuzzy at second and third, respectively. The Cubs are at 5-6. The Astros at 2-9, but again, they have won 2 of their last 3. They're last in the majors in pretty much every offensive, at least major offensive category, including runs and home runs. As Ryan Dempster will face Michael Bourne. Bourne with 6 hits and 15 at-bats against Dempster in his career. A strike called to get us started.
You mentioned Bourne sat out yesterday's ball game with a minor injury, but in the first game of the series, the Cubs pitching did a nice job of getting Bourne to hit the ball in the air to the outfield. Particularly under the conditions we have here today, the wind is howling straight in from center field. Michael Bourne wants to slap that ball on the ground, use his speed, elevate some pitches, see if you can't get him to hit it in the air.
Slap foul by Bourne. And let's get our Chrysler game forecast brought to you by Chrysler. For more info on our vehicle lineup, log on to Chrysler.com or stop by your Chicagoland or Northwest Indiana Chrysler dealer today. Crisp 44. And the wind coming straight in over that center field scoreboard. A 1-2. Bourne gets a piece of it. We mentioned this yesterday, and I think it bears repeating. When you consider the strengths and weaknesses of these two clubs, the wind blowing in favors the Astros. The Cubs are a much more powerful home run hitting team. The Astros have more speed. But we'll see how it plays out. Ryan's 2-2 is inside. It's now full, 3-2. Will be followed by Keppinger and then Feliz. On the ground for Jeff Baker. So Dempster had to work, but he gets that first out.
You're absolutely right, Len. Because of the makeup of these two rosters and the conditions here at Wrigley today, it would seem to favor the Astros in their speed. One way to nullify that is to keep the speed off the bases. Ground ball to second. Michael Bourne retired.
Keppinger has started all 3 at second base. We have not seen Kaz Matsui, who was struggling at the plate before this series. So Brad Mills trying to go with any hot hand or even warm hand for that matter. Matsui 0 for his last 17. Keppinger hitting .367 when he's been in the starting lineup. A little tapper. Picked up by Dempster. 2 outs. You can email us at lenandbob@tribune.com. lenandbob@tribune.com. You can follow us on Twitter as well. We're all over the blogosphere.
We are.
Our technological tentacles reach far and wide. Ball one on Feliz. They've seen him at first base. He's back at third today.
I was just going to say, Lenny, he has to be relieved to be back at his normal position. He's played 80-plus games over there at first base, but in the first 2 games of this series, he had some real testers. The Ryan Theriot bases loaded bunt down the first base line. A couple of little floaters hit directly over his head down that first base line. He's been tested over at first base. Probably will be much more comfortable at third today.
We were laughing hysterically about Winter Scarf Day, and it was 83 degrees. Who's going to need a scarf? Got mine right here. All kinds of heaters going in the booth, the whole deal. Feliz late on the swing. This is definitely a day you want to get as much sun as you can. It's very chilly in the shade. But it looks like, for the most part, the fans came prepared.
Now, you can usually tell the rookies to Wrigley Field when they come into the upper deck, not knowing that they're going to be sitting in the shade all day, and they are way underdressed.
Derek Lee makes the catch. Feliz, and the Astros done in the first. The Cubs are coming up against left-hander Wandy Rodriguez. Pepsi refreshes the world. Derek Lee with excellent numbers against Wandy Rodriguez. The Cubs come in with 16 homers. They didn't homer yesterday for the first time in their last 21 games against the Astros.
Quick look at the Astros defensively. Carlos Lee in left, Michael Bourne in center. That raw nerve, Hunter Pence out in right field. Feliz, Manzella, Keppinger, and Blum across the infield today. Humberto Quintero behind the plate for left-hander Wandy Rodriguez.
He starts Ryan Theriot with a strike.
See the numbers for Rodriguez this season. As Len mentioned, his offense has not scored a run while he's been in the ball game. Talking to a couple scouts before the game, they said Rodriguez has struggled with the command of his breaking pitch in the early going this season. He'll throw a fastball, big curveball, a changeup, occasional cut fastball, but really relies on commanding that curveball to be effective.
Up the middle, but it's backhanded by Keppinger. Throws off that back foot in time to get Theriot. Wandy Rodriguez is not a kid anymore. He's 31, believe it or not. Seems like just yesterday he was making his major league debut here at Wrigley Field back on May 23rd of 05. 5'11", 193, but he knows how to pitch. He's been a lot better at Minute Maid Park in his career than he has anywhere else. So the Cubs hope to take advantage of him in the road uniform today.
That's kind of hard to figure. A left-handed pitcher that's not overpowering, pitching in a right-handed pull hitter friendly ballpark, and actually does considerably better pitching at home than he does on the road.
Based on just that, it would seem to indicate that he has a pretty good command of the outside part of the plate against righties.
Both with the tailing fastball, the changeup away from the right-handed hitters, and that occasional backdoor breaking ball.
Bird got jammed, and he pops out to Keppinger for the second out. Lou likes to go with Bird in the 2 spot against lefties, something the Cubs will get used to over the next few days. They'll see 3 lefties in New York.
Last season, the Cubs were 16-16 when facing a left-handed starting pitcher, which is really surprising for the right-handed heavy lineup that the Cubs usually feature.
Of course, things could change with the Mets. They played 20 innings yesterday. Really, the only question that I would have is about the righty on Tuesday. Mike Pelfrey got the save yesterday in St. Louis. What a game that was.
Oh, unbelievable. Just reading the box score kind of gives you an indication of the kind of day and night it turned out to be. 3-0 for 7s for the Mets. That's a long day, 0 for 7. Wow.
Francisco Rodriguez, swing and a miss. Claims he threw over 100 pitches in the bullpen. I don't know if it was quite that many. I think he blew the save and got the win. How about Pelfrey saved it for Rodriguez? It's supposed to be the other way around.
Payback.
Three and 2 on Lee. He has won a lot of battles over the years against Rodriguez. Not this time, however. And the tag applied by Blum as he came off the base. Quiet first for both teams. 0-0. Neither team with a base runner in the first inning. As Ryan Dempster faces Carlos Lee. Outside, ball 1. A bitterly cold start to the season for El Caballo. He is 2 for 8 in the series. He's hit the ball hard on occasion, but is still seeking his first RBI of the year. Baker goes out. Nady in. It'll be Baker to make the catch. The infielders will be a little more active in the outfield with the wind pushing everything back toward the plate.
Ticket sales are at a record pace, but plenty of tickets are still available for the 2010 season. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office.
Hunter Pence swings away out into center and a base hit. First base runner for either team. Pence now 2 for 9 in the series. Today's Walgreens Celebrity Bat Kids, Billy Garpo from Valparaiso, Indiana, and Bryson Dowler from Oswego, Illinois. For more info on how you can be a Walgreens Celebrity Bat Kid, go to WGNRadio.com. Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs. Switch hitting Jeff Blum makes his first appearance in the series. The Astros are still without Lance Berkman, coming off knee surgery. He is on a rehab assignment with AAA Round Rock, 0 for 2 with a sac fly last night. And they're hoping he can be back to start their upcoming 9-game homestand, which will be Tuesday night against Florida. Another floater, this time it'll drop in front of Bird. The Astros haven't hit the ball that hard. They do have 2 on with 1 out. It might be the kind of day where you have to string together 3 or 4 of those to score runs.
I don't think we're going to see a lot of long balls in this game. Obviously, that wind howling straight in. You're going to have to put it right down either foul line in order to get it out of here and keep it below the wind. But Astros making an effort here to string some together. Fortunately for Ryan Dempster, facing the number 7 hitter in the lineup. Trying to clean it up down here with the guys at the bottom.
Ball 1 on Tommy Manzella. He had a pretty shaky error in the bottom of the 9th in a 1-run game yesterday. That kept the Cubs alive as he booted a very routine grounder hit by Ryan Theriot. Matt Lindstrom then struck out Kosuke Fukudome to end it. Bourne and Keppinger both above 350, but everybody else with a pretty low batting average. Feliz at 244, Lee at 116. Hunter Pence came in at 122. Blum, Manzella, and Quintero in the low 200s. It's been a very slow start for this offense. Sans Lance Berkman. He'll help when he returns, but hard to think one guy is going to fundamentally change a lineup.
Well, Lance Berkman is swinging the bat well. He can change a lineup. It remains to be seen how well he's swinging the bat coming back off his rehab outing. But, you imagine the Cubs without Derek Lee in the lineup. That's the kind of hitter Lance Berkman is for the Astros. That anchor in the middle, the one of the constants that Brad Mills looking for to carry this offense for the Astros all season.
Expect a lot more from Carlos Lee. I mentioned Kaz Matsui off to a slow start too. 2-2 on Manzella. And he struck him out. First punch out for Dempster. 2 gone.
Nice controlled slider that time by Ryan Dempster. Wanted to make sure that he threw it in the strike zone. The ball's right in the heart of the plate. Zelatardi and over the top of that pitch.
The catcher, Quintero. Ryan just 4-10 lifetime against the Astros. This is his 45th appearance in his 19th start. He made 3 last year, got a no decision all 3 times out. 2 of those 3 games would end up being low scoring 1-run wins for the Astros in Houston in extras. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Just missed the outside corner, 2-1. The Brewers, after losing back-to-back games in Washington, played at 10 in the first and chased Jason Marquis out of the game before Marquis could even get it out. He gave up 7 runs. Craig Counsell hit a grand slam, and it's 10-1 Brewers in the top of the third. IMAME, I don't think is a university, but Miami is.
I thought Miami of Ohio was supposed to be an outstanding academic school. They can't even hang their flag right. Come on. Guys at Ohio U know how to hang their pennant, at least. I know that.
Maybe that they're thinking that's how Harry would have said it. You can understand they're hanging it up in front of themselves, saying it looks good. You
Looks
just put
right.
it down in front of yourself, but don't realize that the other people looking at it can't read it. That's high, and the runners will get a head start with 2 outs. The pitcher, Rodriguez, is on deck.
And Dempster rarely uses that inside move to second base, but Hunter Pence is a very jumpy, nervous base runner. He might be the kind of guy that you could trick with that inside move to second base. 2 outs, full count. And neither Cub middle infielder is really close enough to the bag at this point to attempt to pick off, but at least it would shorten him up a little bit, keep him a step closer to that bag at second should the ball be hit into the outfield.
There they go. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. He strikes out 2 to end the inning. Cubs coming up in the second. No score. Peoria in the Midwest League to make what is hopefully his final rehab outing tomorrow. He will not fly to New York. Remember, he had those back issues. The Cubs want him just to rest and get set for a potential season debut in Milwaukee next weekend.
Talking to Teddy, he insists that this will be his last rehab outing down in Peoria. Ideally, he goes down there and it's to his pitch count without any events and plug him right back into that rotation, add a little depth to the bullpen.
Cleanup man Aramis Ramirez leads off the bottom of the second. Ball one. Coming in at just 163. Does have 3 homers and 8 RBIs. And a bloop out into right. Perfectly placed. All the hits have a similar theme, don't they?
Yeah, other than the line drive into center by Hunter Pence, everything has been a little floater knocked down by the wind. Ramirez, once again, Astros, like everybody else we've seen in the early going this season, working him away. He reached out there, hit that ball off the end of the bat, perfectly placed it between Pence and Keppinger.
Here's Xavier Nady. Getting the start in right. Even though Fukudome and Colvin start the day on the bench, there's a decent chance both will get into the game late for defense.
Possibly a pinch hit appearance as well. 6 of the 7 relief pitchers for the Astros are right-handed.
4th start for Xavier, 3rd coming in right. Came into the season batting over 300 against lefties. He almost got hit, Bob, for the 4th time already this season. It's been flunked 3 times.
He starts with a little bit of an open stance and kind of dives in toward the plate a little bit, and talked about that Wandy Rodriguez cutter, a pitch he'll use more for effect than anything else, just to push the righty off the plate, and then usually tries to go right back away. Coming in again.
And it's lined at the shortstop, Manzella, and they double off Ramirez. So Nady lines into a double play.
One of the first things you're taught in Little League is freeze on a line drive when you're a base runner with less than 2 outs. He didn't have to leave his feet over there at his shortstop position. Makes that long throw back across the diamond just in time to get Ramirez at first base.
Fastball strike to Soriano. Alfonso trying to figure out Wandy Rodriguez will now be 1 for 18 against Rodriguez in his career. Just like that, the inning is over. 0-0.
Motley Crue today with Home Sweet Home. Budweiser with full flavor and a crisp finish. It's what we do. Motley Crue, that's how we describe our production staff most days.
Spelled C-R-U-E. Juan Rodriguez leading off the third inning, and we have with us from Chicago's Best, debuting tonight here on WGN, Ted Brunson. Ted, you're brave. No big jacket on up here in the booth.
Oh, come on. I live in Chicago. This is not bad at all. You know that. I'm sure it was 80 degrees a couple days ago, but this is April baseball, right?
We'll take it as long as it's dry and not a cloud to be found in the area. So tell us about Chicago's Best.
Well, we're pretty excited about it. It debuts tonight, as you said, at 10 p.m. here on WGN, and it's a food, lifestyle, entertainment show. One out. Nice play right there. Covers a lot of food. We kind of picked maybe 3 of the best brunches, for example, tonight's show. And then we look for a lot of feedback via the internet. Of course, that's really catching on these days.
Yeah, we heard about that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Thank goodness for Al Gore. But ChicagosBestTV.com is the place to go to give us your feedback. Tell us where we should go, whether you like what we went to, whether you don't. And we really want to get the pulse and the heartbeat of the city and where to go that's accessible, not just trendy spots. We're staying away from that stuff, but the real stuff that you can go to as a Chicagoan.
It sounds like a great show to me. And if you need any guest tasters, Bob and I might be available.
Well, I know you guys really dig your food, and I know you also like your music too. So,
yes, we do.
I like to go to the Double Door myself and hear a bunch of local shows. So when we do a music show, possibly, maybe you can come along with me.
I would love to do that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And of course, I'm bookended by 2 great co-hosts as well, Sarah Spain and Brittany Payton. So they actually make me look pretty good. So.
I assume at some point you're going to review some of the pizza joints around town.
That's definitely on the list, and boy, are we going to have opinions. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
2-1 on Michael Bourne. Scoreless tie here in the third. That's outside 3-1. And they've upgraded the food here at Wrigley Field. Have you checked out any of the new stuff?
This is no joke. I did. My boss, Dave Rosenberg, and I were taking a little break, and I went and tried a bison dog.
Pretty good, aren't they?
Not bad at all. Nice and lean.
1 out walk to Bourne, who led the league in stolen bases last year. So Ryan Dempster will have to keep an eye on him. So 10 o'clock, Chicago's Best here on WGN. And we are definitely looking forward to that.
Well, we are too. And the promotion has been a lot of fun, but it's really exciting to get this thing going. And hopefully it'll run for a while, and we really count on the viewers. So ChicagosBestTV.com. Give us your opinions. Become fans. Become viewers. Tell us what you like. That's what we want to hear.
Yeah. Interactive television show. Say that, technology today, that's the wave of the present, not necessarily the future. Yeah. Ted, thanks so much for the time.
Thank you, guys.
And we look forward to watching tonight.
All right, great being with you. Thanks.
Chicago's Best tonight at 10 right here on WGN. Bourne was red hot coming into this series. Pretty quiet at the plate. He had over 60 stolen bases last year. Cubs did a pretty good job against him in that department. And with their offense struggling and with a wind blowing in today, I think he's going to be pretty anxious.
I think you're absolutely right, Landon. The fact, as you mentioned, he's been kind of quiet in this series against the Cubs so far. He wants to make his presence felt, and the best way he can help his ball club is to disrupt the defense, to disrupt the opposing pitcher, and he's done that already. 3 pickoff attempts by Ryan Dempster over at first base.
Fake towards second as Dempster threw a slider to Keppinger, and it was outside.
Well, that was a great shot from the third base side there. Well, they fixed their banner out there.
The power of WGN. I'm sure somebody was watching and made a phone call to someone who made a phone call to someone who then changed it.
I was about to say, Len, as Michael Bourne takes his lead over there at first base, that was a good shot there. Ryan Dempster comes up to his set position, and you can see Bourne in the background. He was actually starting to lean towards second base ever so slightly, trying to get any edge at all over there at first base. Kind of holding his position that time. A lot of times those fast base runners will tip off when they're going to attempt to steal just by their body language. They get antsy, they get anxious, they want to get that weight out onto the right foot so they can cross over into their sprint towards second base.
There he goes. The Cubs pitch out, and they get Bourne.
I mean, if we're anticipating a stolen base, you know Lou Piniella and his staff on the bench are thinking the same thing. A perfect throw from Giovanni Soto after the pitch out. Keep the fast guys off the bases. Well, you know, Len, it's certainly understandable to give Michael Bourne the straight steal sign over there at first base, or the green light to steal when he feels the need. But Jeff Keppinger is such a great handler of the bat at the plate. I'm kind of surprised the Astros didn't play a little hit and run there.
A full count on Keppinger and a base hit. Follow the Chicago Cubs on your iPhone, iPod Touch, BlackBerry, and Android phone with MLB.com. At Bat 2010, featuring play-by-play, video highlights, and live audio broadcasts. Visit Cubs.com today on your iPhone, iPod Touch, Android, or BlackBerry for more details. Keppinger basically replaces Bourne at first. 2 outs. And Feliz hits a ground ball to Terrio. The flip to Baker, and that's the inning. More of Chicago's best as we go to break. Check it out tonight at 10, right here on WGN. That's one of the new banners out in front of the ballpark from an inside view. Really have opened up the park this year and spruced it up. No, not. Wasn't one of the Miami people who hung that banner up. No.
You read my mind.
Yeah. It's for the folks on Clark and Addison to check out. 2 strikes on Jeff Baker.
That's the big pitch for Wandy Rodriguez, that big bending curveball. In the past, when he's been successful, he's been able to throw that pitch for strikes when he wants to, bounce it toward the back foot of the right-handed hitter to get swinging strikes.
He's been really good against the Cubs lately, going back to August of 07. His last 7 starts, he's 2-0 with a 2.17. His last start was at St. Louis. Did not get through the 5th. It was the first start of his career in which he did not strike out anybody. Doesn't have one to this point. He is 3-2 on Baker, and there's ball 4.
Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN TV is sponsored in part by the Illinois Lottery Mega Millions. Tuesday's Mega Millions jackpot, wow, $143 million.
Here's Soto taking a strike. Guys like Soto and Fontenot really taken to new hitting coach Rudy Jaramillo. Gio 5 for 12 with a homer. He has walked 4 times on this homestand.
I thought the most impressive thing about Gio lately, after he hit the home run the other day, he drew 2 base on balls after that. A lot of times after going deep, you feel like, man, that was easy. Watch this. I'm going to try to hit one even further, but had real good at bats. He swung at pitches in the strike zone. He laid off pitches out of the zone and took the base on balls.
And he sits here in a 3-1 count. So he takes walks. It has been a strength of his the last couple of years. Well, that's not the kind of swing he wants on a 3-1 pitch.
Now, a 3-1 pitch, you're looking for one pitch in one zone and really going to take an aggressive hack. If your mind is right, that time a check swing on a tailing fastball just off the plate away. The numbers you're talking about against the St. Louis Cardinals. Gave up 7 hits in 4 1/3. A couple of walks. When he started his career, he didn't strike out about it.
Baker was running on the pitch. He still won't be able to get to third as a base hit went in front of him to left. And Soto with a single, and Ryan Dempster now will try to put 2 guys in scoring position.
A good recovery after that check swing on the 3-1 pitch. Rodriguez basically forced to throw a strike in that situation, and Soto finds that big hole on the left side of the infield for a base hit. Seven sacrifice bunts for Ryan Dempster last year. He was pretty close to automatic. Really worked hard on his bunting after he made the move from closer to the starting rotation. He knew he was going to be asked to use that bat to help the offense. He'll be asked to put a bunt down here, probably down the third baseline.
Curve is in there.
Cross up. And the only reason I said probably down the third baseline, that's normally where you would bunt the ball with runners at first and second. You want to try to force Pedro Feliz to come in and make the play. But Wandy Rodriguez is a pretty good fielder. He gets off the mound quickly, and being a left-handed thrower, you have to make sure you bunt that ball far enough down the line to force the third baseman to field the ball.
There's the bunt by Demp. Rodriguez will spin and fire in time. The Keppins are covering first. Goes 1-4. Hey, Cub fans, make sure you check out our WGN Baseball blog on WGNTV.com. Click on the sports link. Look for Len and Bob's Baseball blog. I have a post about this interesting week of weather we've had as the Cubs get set to head off to New York. There's a link to Chicago baseball stories on the anniversary of Bill Murray's 1987 broadcast. Game notes from Stats and much more. Once again, WGNTV.com. Terrio bounces to Mike Quaddy, who flips it up into the seats. Pedro Feliz just walked over as Mike Quaddy and Jeff Baker were chatting at third base. Feliz just stuck his head in there as if to say, what are you guys talking about? I don't think he said, you guys playing cards? And they have Baker caught up. Now he'll go back to third as Rodriguez throws out Terrio for the second out.
Tapper back to the mound. You'll see Baker come down the line initially. If Rodriguez goes to third base right there to Feliz, they've got Baker hung up in a rundown between third and home, but instead he wheels around, takes the sure out at first base. Yeah, right there, they've got Baker in no man's land. And as it is, the Cubs still have two runners in scoring position for Marlon Byrd.
And Rodriguez is probably not going to work around Byrd because his nemesis, Derek Lee, is on deck. One strike. Yeah, there's nothing that says you can't eavesdrop. Mike Quaddy trying to give Jeff Baker instructions, and Pedro Feliz just walked right over and stuck his ear in the middle of the chat.
The first third baseman I ever saw do that was Matt Williams. Started when he was a member of the Giants, later when he played under me in Arizona. Now he's the first base coach for the Diamondbacks. But Matty used to get right over there, and it got to the point where Larry Bowa, when he was coaching third base, would call timeout and pull the runner into foul territory to whisper in his ear when he wanted him to know.
Base hit for Marlon Byrd. And the Cubs will get two. He comes through with 2 outs and makes it 2-0.
Marlon Byrd picking on a curveball that stayed over that inside part of the plate, finds that same hole in the left side of the infield that Giovanni Soto picked on. And look at Gio, got a great jump off of second base. Carlos Lee's throw to the plate well late, and the Cubs continue to hit well with runners in scoring position here at Wrigley Field.
A lot of 2-out runs. Nice pick-me up there for a guy like Ryan Terrio. Byrd coming through. Telling Ryan, don't worry, I got your back. All the time. I alluded to Matt Lindstrom striking out Kosuke Fukudome. I'm sure the first guy over to congratulate him was Tommy Manzella after the error. No doubt one of the first guys to tell Marlon Byrd nice going will be Ryan Terrio, who failed to come through with 1 out.
So much of this game depends on individual success. Nobody can help you when you're in that batter's box by yourself. Nobody can throw the ball for you when you're out there on the mound by yourself. You have to catch the ball when it's hit to you, make a good throw. All those things are individual skills, but The team aspect really comes in, as you were saying, when your teammate fails to get something done in front of you. If you can pick him up, that's where the team aspect of the game really shines. And the guy at the plate has picked up more teammates probably than any other Cub over the last number of years.
Derek working on an 8-game hitting streak. Both he and Ryan Theriot have hit an 8 straight. Lee is 4 homers away from 300 in his career.
And then with very few exceptions, Derek Lee has been a constant. Any manager will tell you that they like that guy who's steady, who puts up good numbers, who gives you 4 or 5 good at-bats every ball game. And for the most part, Derek Lee has done that throughout his career. There have been a few hiccups here and there, some minor slumps, but for the most part, you know you're going to get 4 or 5 good at-bats out of this guy every ball game. Not to mention his stellar defense, his willingness to play every inning of every game. Got to have that constant. Preferably 2 or 3 of them, at least one.
He also makes the opposing pitcher work and throw more pitches than pretty much anybody else in this lineup. He's done that again here against Rodriguez. Well, he strikes out. Bird knocks in 2 with a single. Then it's 2-zip Cubs after 3.
No laughing.
Marlon Byrd giving the Cubs a 2-0 lead. First pitch of the 4th inning is away on Carlos Lee. Pop foul off to the right. Pretty early for the Ivy to be coming in, but that's the kind of weather we've had. Nice to see. Good breaking ball, 1-2. Congratulations to hard-throwing Ubaldo Jimenez, the first no-hitter in Rockies history last night in Atlanta. He was throwing 97 in the 9th inning. Swing and a miss. He got it.
Time now to check out today's improvement from Menards. Not a ball player today, but the Cubs clubhouse. Renovated over the off-season. The new kitchen, Gary Stark and Tom Otis Hellman hard at work back there preparing breakfast this morning. The players lounge. For those who so choose, a little guitar hero.
Ubaldo Jimenez teammate Jeff Baker throws out Hunter Pence.
Well, I know the new clubhouse is really no larger, but much cleaner, much brighter. Seems like there's a lot more room, especially in the weight room for Tim Buss when he takes the guys in there to put them through the drills before and after a ball game. You can get more than 2 guys in the weight room now.
One ball, no strikes on Jeff Blum. Switch hitter. 2-0. His former team's the White Sox. They're struggling again. 7-3 they trail in Cleveland. Gavin Floyd only went 1 inning, gave up 7 runs. White Sox are 4-8. They're already 5 games back of the Twins. We're 9-3. They've won 4 of their first 5 in their new home ballpark. Marlon Byrd coming over. Makes a catch. And it's a 1-2-3 shutdown inning for Dempster. 2 zip codes. Out in the 4th, leading 2-0. Ball 1 high on Aramis Ramirez. One and 1. Big group of Fioresi kids. I'm going to say hi to Grandpa Peter. They're here for their first Cubs game. Matthew, Braden, Kendall, Ben, and Ryan. Reminder for Cub fans everywhere to get in on the Cubs Way of Life campaign. Visit Cubs.com and submit your short story about why Cubs baseball is a way of life. The 3-1 to Ramirez, took a big cut, came up empty.
3-1 changeup that time from Rodriguez. That's one thing the Cubs hitters were talking about with Roy Oswalt yesterday. Oswalt really threw a lot of straight changeups, especially to the right-handed hitter, something he's done infrequently in the past. So a little different look from the veteran right-hander. Rodriguez goes to the same game plan here against Ramirez.
Bourne, who won the Gold Glove last year, battling the sun just a little bit. Got the shades on.
The 2010 Chicago Cubs baseball season on WGN is brought to you by Bud Light. The sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
He lined into a 6-3 double play in the second. Interesting note, Bob, the other day in Jason Stark's baseball column on ESPN.com. Kevin Millar, who was basically the Cubs' final cut at the end of spring training, is considering going back to his roots. He started his pro career in the Northern League with the St. Paul Saints. And if Kevin can't find a major league job as a backup player, he is thinking about going back to St. Paul. And he said he remembered being there, and it was Leon Durham, I believe, who was there at the time, and how much that meant to him as a young player. So maybe Kevin Millar could pass down some of what he learned. It was 1993. Be pretty neat.
And maybe if it's time to turn the page on your career as an active player, it's a good way to start to get your feet wet, involved as perhaps a player coach, and eventually a coach, move your way up to manager. Well, we wish him well. We really enjoyed being around Kevin this spring down in Mesa, Arizona. It was unfortunate the way the roster ended up shaking out for him, but I'm sure he's going to land on his feet. Good baseball man.
1-1 on Soriano. Had some more defensive problems yesterday. He has decided to get rid of the hop on those routine catches.
Amen.
His manager all in favor of that. Talked about his head moving when he takes the hop. Certainly not how you teach it. One bounce to Manzella. It's it for the Cubs in the fourth. Off to the fifth. Cubs 2, Astros nothing. Dempster to Manzella, a strike. 5th inning. 2-0 Cubs. It's a 5th inning brought to you by Subway. Hey, Chicagoland viewers, how would you like to win $5 footlongs from Subway? Just be the 500th texter to text Subway to 97999. Go to WGNTV.com for complete info and rules. Dempster expanding that strike zone. On an 0-2, it's now 1-2 on Manzella. Ryan, 6'2", 215 pounds. And he went. That's a strikeout. Number 4 for Demp.
But Dempster really has a lot of confidence in that slider throughout his first 3 starts this season. He's been able to roll it up there for strikes when he's been behind in the count. And once he gets to 2 strikes, he can bury it in the dirt away. That time getting a check swing from Manzella.
And 1 to Quintero. For fans who've watched Ryan Dempster the last couple of years, returning to a starter's role, know about the glove waggle as he gets set to pitch, trying to guard against any tipping of pitches. You see, he starts with a split finger grip, and then as he moves the glove, he gets the grip he'll use for that particular pitch.
And of course, the key is to do the same wiggle every time. And Dempster does that, does the same thing on every pitch, whether he's going with the split finger or changing the grip to one of his other pitches. And I got to admit, it has to be a little distracting for a hitter. I mean, you're trained to concentrate and focus on an area above the pitcher's throwing shoulder and try to pick that ball up out of his hand as quickly as possible, but it has to catch your eye when you see that starting pitcher wiggling his glove out there the way Dempster does.
The 3-2 to the catcher. Popped up. But the wind makes it a souvenir. Two-time All-Star, 2000 with Florida, and 08 with the Cubs. 13th Major League season for Dempster.
And I really think Ryan Dempster is poised to have one of the best years of his Major League career. Just judging on what we saw down in Arizona, what we've seen through his first 2+ starts here to begin the regular season. His stuff has never been better. His command is good. He's showing a better feel for pitching than he ever did before. Adding a little, subtracting a little. He's mixed in some 4-seam fastballs this year. We saw him throw a first pitch strike to Carlos Lee earlier in the ballgame at 84 miles an hour. Came right back with the next pitch at 92. Both fastballs.
"29 wins the last 2 years plus as a starter. 17, a career best in 08. Swing and a miss, strike 3. While we have a moment, let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Called strike to Wandy Rodriguez. I would call him an occasional switch hitter. There have been times we've seen him right against right, left against left, but he is listed as a switchy. And that's how he goes today, batting left-handed.
He's a field hitter. It depends on what feels right on a given day.
You're telling me the Daytona Cubs the other day faced this switch pitcher in the Yankee chain, right?
Yeah.
Vendit, I think is Venditti. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but he throws both righty and lefty. Called strike 3. Dempster strikes out the side. Bottom 5, Cubs 2, Houston nothing.
Ultimately, they got the banner hung properly. See what's new from AT&T. Visit AT&T.com for details.
Who says they aced their SATs? Cubs 2, Astros nothing. Bottom of the order against Wandy Rodriguez. Swing and a miss by Jeff Baker. Quickly 0-2. Swinging bunt. And Rodriguez gets him. The 5th annual Cubs Charities Race to Wrigley 5K this Saturday, April 24th, begins at Clark and Addison. Will continue through the Wrigleyville neighborhood and finishes with a run down the Wrigley Field concourse and under the famous marquee. Each participant receives a performance management race t-shirt. This year, personal fundraising proceeds benefit Children's Memorial Hospital. To register, go to Cubs.com. We will be in Milwaukee. I'm unable to participate, but my mom and my sister are going to represent the Casper family.
Very nice.
5K would be the equivalent to 3.1 miles. If you're trying to do the conversion.
No, I wasn't trying. I'm glad you did. Maybe we'll jog 3.1 miles in Milwaukee. Maybe.
2-2 to Soto. He had a single and later scored on the Marlon Byrd 2-run hit. Base hit. So he's 2 for 2. So Ubaldo Jimenez ran 6 miles today. Couldn't clear his head after a big night last night, the no-hitter.
This inside out swing on a hanging breaking ball from Wandy Rodriguez. Once again giving Ryan Dempster the possible option of putting down a sac bunt right here, even though there's one out in the inning.
There's the bunt. He's one of the best in the business at doing that. He has 2 of them today. Make sure you check out our upcoming podcast for the week. We will record it after the game. Go to WGNTV.com.
Dempster getting a nice hand from the fans sitting above the third base dugout there. They appreciate good baseball, and they appreciate Ryan Dempster's efforts up there at the plate today.
Rodriguez has a sign. Now the pitch. It's low. 2-0.
We showed you the graphic earlier in the ball game after the Marlon Byrd 2-out, 2 RBI base hit. This is a situation the Cubs have been really good at over the course of this homestand. 2 outs, a runner in scoring position. Keep that offensive pressure on the other team.
Oh, lined and caught by Rodriguez, robbing Terrio of an RBI hit. He made that look easy. A defensive gem by Rodriguez, keeping it a 2-0 game. By Marlon Byrd in the 3rd inning, as Houston will have the top of its order. Swinging strike on Michael Bourne. Excellent year last year. One of the most improved players in the entire league last year. He's playing for his hometown team. From Houston, went to the University of Houston, and now plays for the Houston Major League Club. Comebacker, no problem for Dempster. Cub fans, don't miss your chance to be part of the brand new PNC Club of Chicago, the newly built club located down the third base line. offers high-end catering, a full-service top-shelf bar, indoor and outdoor seating, and other benefits that allow for a truly all-inclusive game day experience. Membership also includes parking for every home game. To reserve your season tickets in the PNC Club of Chicago, call 773-404-4200. Great addition to the ballpark. Keppinger ahead in the count, 2-0. Jeff Keppinger, a nice under the radar pickup by the Astros from the Cincinnati Reds on March 31st of last year. Fairly versatile guy. Makes contact, hits lefties well. Didn't the Reds just get ravaged by injury at the shortstop position right after they got rid of him?
I think you're right. Yeah,
how that works. Alex Gonzalez, Paul Yanish, Jerry Hairston all went down. A fly ball hit the other way. Nady drifts back on it and makes a catch. 2 down.
Brenda Price from Lombard is today's Hit the Jackpot with Powerball contestant. If the Cubs hit a home run in the next inning, Brenda Price will win a 100 chances to win the Powerball jackpot. Wednesday's jackpot is worth $252 million. Brenda, you got the right hitters coming up.
In there on Feliz. Dempster has retired 9 in a row. Here's the pitch. Bouncer backing up Ramirez, looks it in. Throws a strike to Derek Lee. 3 straight 1-2-3s for Ryan Dempster. Still 2-0 Cubs. Big 2-out single, waiting a pair in the 3rd inning. Other than that, Rodriguez has done a good job. Bird has another hit. This one into the right field corner. Pence goes after it. And Bird pulls up with a double.
Marlon Byrd, a true disciple of Rudy Jaramillo's hitting theories. Very little movement up there at the plate, just a little rocking action to transfer his weight, and then quick hands through the hitting zone, producing a line drive down into that right field corner for a double.
Pitch to Lee. Catches the corner. Ground out and a strikeout. Again, an 8-game hitting streak on the line. He's also reached base in every game so far. Was on this date in 1951, 49 years ago, 59 years ago rather. Pre-game ceremonies here at the ballpark. Sam Snead teed off from home plate with a golf ball off the center field scoreboard. Only ball ever to reach the famous board. As we go on to win that game against the Reds 8-3.
It looks like it would be reachable, especially on those days when you have the wind howling out.
Ooh. Awkward landing by Derek on that enormous hack.
An uncharacteristic out of control swing that time by Derek Lee. Yeah, he just lost his footing in the batter's box there. To drop the bat and regroup. You can see that left foot slides out on the front side. Well, hopefully he's okay.
And they have Byrd caught between second and third. We'll see if Derek can get another base here. Nope, no time, as Byrd is eventually tagged out by Feliz.
Always a tough one for that base runner at second base. You're conditioned to break for third on anything hit to your left, freeze on anything hit to your right. The wild card is when that pitcher's able to knock that ball down that's hit to your left, and Rodriguez was able to do that. Derek knows the rundown's going on, but no sense running into a second out at second base. You have to be sure you can make it to second as that rundown is progressing.
So the Cubs have made a couple of non-conventional outs on the bases. Ramirez was doubled off on a liner back in the second. Remember, Baker got caught between third and home on a play, and Rodriguez decided to get the out at first. That actually could loom to be a big decision. Kept runners at second and third and led to the Marlon Byrd 2-run single. Might have been first and second instead of second and third. Rodriguez was just trying to get a sure out. Figured 2 outs. I'll go after Byrd. I'll get him and I'll get out unscathed. That didn't happen. The 2-0 Aramis is a strike. It's a pitcher's strike. Nady on deck.
The Astros give Ramirez a lot of room in that gap in left center field. Michael Bourne shading several steps over toward the gap in right center. And basically because the Astros, like everybody else so far, have been pitching Ramirez away. But if you happen to make a mistake with that breaking ball or the straight changeup and catch too much plate, Ramirez can split that gap easily. most of the balls that Rami has hit hard in the early going this season have been mistakes. Breaking balls, just as I said, that end up on the inner part of the plate. Change-ups that have ended up down.
Lou thinks that ball hit Ramirez. Aramis didn't react as though it hit him. I think Lou's asking Ramirez, did it hit you? So it might have been no.
Ramirez adhering to that Prince Fielder theory. If you just ignore it, maybe they'll let me continue my at bat, give me a chance to swing here. I don't want to take my base.
Popped up as Ramirez slams the bat down. Keppinger the catch. Cub fans, don't forget to visit the WGN Sports Game Zone at WGNTV.com. Brought to you by The Great Escape. The WGN Sports Game Zone at WGNTV.com is available for every Cubs game. Is brought to you by The Great Escape. Pools, patio sets, play sets, hot tubs, and more. Reaction plays a big role in determining things like hit by pitches, because a home plate umpire, for instance, he is looking at the ball to see where it crosses home plate, but sometimes it's coming in at 90 miles an hour plus, and a pitch in the dirt, it's really hard to tell.
Well, you get blocked by the catcher a lot of times too on those pitches that are down below the knees. You don't always see exactly whether they hit the batter or bounced off the dirt. This was a pitch that was under contention. It's a breaking ball that ends up down and in.
No, it didn't appear to hit his foot, and his reaction would indicate that it did not.
But your point being, if Ramirez comes out of there hopping on one foot, acting like he got hit, they probably award him first base.
No doubt. They get the out at second as Nady scalded one to Manzella. Off to the seventh, 2-0 Cubs. For the Astros, a familiar refrain in the early going for them. Ryan Dempster's been very solid as he gets into his seventh inning of work. Carlos Lee takes a slider for a strike. Tyler Colvin into the game in right and immediately tested. Makes a nice running grab to retire Carlos Lee.
Seems like that's the way it always goes. That ball will find the new guy. Tyler Colvin just off the bench taking over for Nady in right field. A tough chance, a slicing line drive toward the right field line. Wind pushing it further away, but able to run it down easily.
Here comes Pence. Chicago native, actor, director, producer, and writer. He's done it all. Harold Ramis will conduct the 7th inning stretch coming up. Upstairs on a fastball. 2-0 the count. Drops in a slider. 2-1. Be a lot more aggressive in hitters' counts with a 2-0 lead and the wind blowing in. Stayed away from his fastball, but dropped in a nice one. 2-2. Punched out into right center. Guess who? Colvin again. Experience Cubs baseball from the pride and comfort of the Bud Light Batter's Eye, located in center field, offering a spectacular view and catered service for groups of 75 to 100. The Bud Light Batter's Eye is a great option for entertaining in Chicago's unpredictable spring weather. The Bud Light Batter's Eye is also available for non-game day functions. Visit Cubs.com for more info. Ryan Dempster cruising through 7. Stretch time.
Today's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game is legendary director, producer, and actor Harold Ramis.
Okay, Cub fans, let me hear ya. A 1 and a 2 and a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the ground. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, so it's root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Let's get some runs. Come on.
Cubs try to add on here in the bottom of the 7th, leading the Astros 2-0. Good friend Harold Ramis in the booth with us, dressed appropriately.
Yeah.
If you're from here, you know the drill.
I knew. I woke up this morning.
Soriano gets it up in the air. Michael Bourne, the captain out there, will call for it and make the play.
All right. We're going to win this one.
You feel confident?
I have no doubt.
So, Harold, tell us about the beard.
This
I
beard?
like it. It's a good look.
Well, it looks artful and old, I think. It's my Medicare beard. It's too lazy to shave.
I was going to say, it's definitely easier that way.
It hides 1 or 2 chins, too, which is good.
Side on Jeff Baker.
Got tired of being carded at the clubs, right?
Yeah,
So
right,
you grow a little beard.
Yeah. Actually, I was in the liquor store yesterday, and she carded the guy in front of me, and then she sold me the liquor. And I said, "How come you're not carding me?" I said,
yeah. 1-1 on Jeff Baker. Got to mention, Harold, I was at the Second City reunion a few months ago. What an incredible weekend that was.
Amazing, huh?
Just about everybody was there.
Yeah.
And, you got to relive some old sketches from way back when.
Wow, they're so old. I was doing pieces we did in 1970, 71.
Did it all come back pretty quickly to you?
You know, once being on stage is a great feeling there. It's the most intimate theater. Oh, good hit.
Base hit for Jeff Baker.
But it's like being an athlete. There's certain reflexes and muscles that, they may atrophy a little, but they come right back when you start doing it again.
Yeah, Bob was telling us the other day, he's actually on a softball roster here in Chicago, just in case.
Just in case I decide to make a comeback, they put me on the roster every year.
Stay limber, yeah. You never know.
There's a good beard right there.
Oh, yeah. That's a wait. That was a monkey, wasn't it?
That's a strike on Soto, 0-1.
So I hear there's a new installment of Ghostbusters.
Well, it's a long way, but it might not be out till 2012. But it's being written now. The old Ghostbusters will be in it in larger costumes, and then we'll introduce some younger guys who will take over. Hopefully, revive that franchise for Columbia Pictures.
2 strikes on Soto. You have an interesting story about the song.
The Ghostbusters song?
Were you thinking something along the lines of the Batman theme or something?
Oh, yeah. Originally, I actually said, wouldn't it be cool if we had a song, no, Ghostbusters, something. So Ray Parker Jr. took that and ran with it.
Became a huge hit?
Well, it became a huge hit. Ray came back when he played the song for everybody. He said, I don't know, it just came to me. I wrote it in one weekend, And then, of course, he got sued by Huey Lewis for lifting the hook from I Need a New Drug, which sounded very similar. So I thought, Ray came up with it in one weekend listening to Huey Lewis. I think he had a payoff, too.
2-2 on Soto, 1 out. We're in the 7th. Cubs leading 2-0 as Ryan Dempster's on deck. And there's nobody warming in the bullpen. It's his game at the moment.
Well, and don't you think it ought to be? Dempster's pitched a gem up to this point of the ball game, even though he cracked the 100-pitch mark in his last inning of work. It's a very cool afternoon here at Wrigley Field. Should be as taxing as some of the other ball games he'll pitch later this summer.
Swing and the miss. Strike 3. Harold, thanks so much for the time. We'll let you get warm again.
Pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Harold Ramis.
Thanks.
Legendary. You're legendary now. You know that?
Yeah.
Ryan Dempster will bat with 2 outs. Are you going to stay with just a mustache? Or are you going to go with the full beard look of Harold Ramis?
I went with the full beard this winter when I was recovering from my knee surgery. I just couldn't stand up long enough to shave, and I kind of liked it. I don't think anybody else in the world did or would, but I liked it. I look back there at Harold. I thought it was Moses standing in the back of the booth for a minute.
Well, he played Adam in his last movie. Biblical theme, year 1. 2 strikes to Dempster. Foul and back to the seats. Dempster's been excellent on the mound. He's going to start the 8th. 102 pitches, but cool temperatures. He has not been overly taxed. The Cubs are very aware of guys' pitch counts. Talked to Larry Rothschild a lot about it, and I agree with what he says. Pitch counts can sometimes be deceiving. Hasn't been easy. It's never easy, but Dempster's made it look that way here through 7. 2-0 Cubs. Second win on this homestand, and hasn't labored a whole lot. Toyota and your local Toyota dealers, official partner of the Chicago Cubs.
Really, the one walk he issued in this ball game was really the only danger he's been in this game. A 1-out walk to Michael Bourne. He was promptly gunned down at second base on a pitch out as Kosuke Fukunome takes over in right field. That'll bump Tyler Colvin over to left. Lou getting his best defensive team on the field here late with a lead.
The Astros, by the way, still have not scored a run in any game started by Wandy Rodriguez. They were shut out in his first 2 starts. They're being shut out here, but they're going to get the leadoff man on base and bring the tying run to the plate as Manzella has an infield single. Rodriguez will be done this inning, as he will be removed for a pinch hitter who's now on deck.
A tough play for either middle infielder to get to that ball in shallow center field. In the case of Jeff Baker, having to throw back across his body to first. Manzella with enough speed to beat it out for an infield hit.
There's a catcher, Quintero, and then left-handed swinging Corey Sullivan is on deck in Rodriguez's spot. He was very good today. Gave up the 2-out RBI hit on the breaking ball to Marlon Byrd. That's been it for the scoring. And because of that, left-hander Sean Marshall is getting ready, along with the closer Carlos Marmol.
Lewis said he will use Marmol possibly for 4 outs on occasion. And looking ahead here at the Astros lineup, there's a possibility you could roll over to those guys in the middle of the lineup, the strong right-handed power hitters. So Marmol warming alongside Sean Marshall.
Quintero taking all the way, 2-1. He looks down at third base, gets the signs from Dave Clark. And the pitch outside, 3-1. I think it's fair to say, as Brian Moeller is up for the Astros, this is the most we've seen Dempster struggle all day. It's the first time they've put the leadoff man on base, and he's down 3-1 to Quintero, who hits it foul. And it's not like he's struggling that much, but that's how good he's been.
His command has been so good of all of his pitches in this ball game. It's odd to see him fall behind in the count to anybody, but as we said, well over the 100-pitch mark now. One good sinker producing a ground ball at one of his infielders would solve his problems, the minor problems that he has here in the eighth.
Swing and a miss. He comes back and strikes out Quintero for the third time this afternoon.
That's a different look from Ryan Dempster this year. This is not the sinker. This is a four-seam fastball painted on the outside corner at 92 miles an hour. Boy, Quintero is well tardy on that pitch.
Corey Sullivan, pinch hitting, came in for defense in game 2. He's trying to snap and 0 for 9. Inked a minor league deal in January. Made the team as a non-roster spring training invitee. Manzella the runner at first. Here's the pitch. 1-1. It's been a largely ineffectual offense for the first 2 weeks. Fly ball slicing. Colvin goes after it, slides, and what an effort. He didn't catch it. It landed foul. He ran a long way.
He really did. That wind blowing in from center, that ball slicing down the third base line, kept pushing it further and further away, but he refused to give up on it. Went into a slide as he got over there near foul territory to use his legs to protect himself against the side wall. Nice effort.
Hit his foot, not his glove. Struck him out.
This one looks like Ryan Dempster might be losing a little bit of his edge. He comes back and executes a perfect split-fingered fastball down the heart of the plate. Sullivan swings right over the top.
Gives him 8 strikeouts as he faces Michael Bourne.
And now with 2 outs here in the 8th inning, and we mentioned it just a moment ago, Lou said he would use his closer for 4 outs, so Sean Marshall's had a seat. Carlos Marmol, the lone reliever, now warming up for the Cubs.
Here comes a 1-1. High and away, 2-1. Leadoff infield single by Manzella, and then back-to-back strikeouts. The 2-1 pitch. Another one high. He does not get Bourne. There's a good chance we'll see Marmol against Keppinger. All 4 he walked them. And out pops Lou Piniella, and he's asking for Marmol. Fans getting up on their feet for Ryan Dempster. He was in command for pretty much the entire day. Cubs leading 2-0 here in the 8th. Carlos Marmol trying to notch a 4-out save. And Keppinger singles into center. Bird's throw toward the plate is going to be late. Manzella scores, making it 2-1. Jeff Keppinger, one of the very few Astros who's been consistent at the plate. He has 2 hits today.
He's hit well against the Cubs throughout his career, whether it be in Cincinnati or here in Houston. Just a short, controlled swing at the first pitch he saw, a fastball in the middle of the plate. He did not want to get to that Carlos Marmol slider.
And now you have one of, and arguably the fastest guy in the league in scoring position. A strike to Feliz, 1-1. Michael Bourne at second, representing that game-tying run. All the hits for the Astros, and they have just 5 on the day, have been singles. But they're within a run. Here's a pitch. Way outside. 3-1. Carlos Lee looming on deck. 15 straight successful saves for Marmol dating back to last year. Swing and a miss, 3-2.
Fastball at 95. Inside part of the plate, blows it right by Feliz. This is usually a slider count for Carlos Marmol. Fastball instead.
Freezes Feliz, gets out of the inning. Only one scores. It's 2-1. to 200 guests for corporate gatherings, family reunions, and bachelor or bachelorette parties. Individual and group tickets are available for all games. For more details, go to www.wrigleyvillerooftops.com or call 773-248-ROOF. Veteran righty Brian Moeller gets his first action in 9 days as he faces the top of the Cubs order.
However, that last appearance for Brian Moeller 9 days ago was 3 innings of relief work, 54 total pitches.
2-0 on Ryan Theriot, with the Cubs leading 2-1. Moeller's 38 years old. Armel getting Feliz on strikes. He has a matchup with Carlos Lee to start the ninth. Full count. Ontario will be a last chance to extend his hitting streak to 9. But he pops it up. Keppinger calls off Pence.
Let's check out our BMW Ultimate Drive today. It came back in the 3rd inning with 2 outs and a couple of teammates on board. Marlon Byrd picked on a breaking ball. Hard grounder through that left side to plate 2. All the Cubs have been able to muster offensively against this Astros pitching staff today. Hurry into the BMW Spring Sales Drive now through April 30th.
Bird swings and misses. 39,506. The paid crowd. Huge crowds, the entire homestand. And the weather has cooperated. Cold today, but sunny. We'll take this week, the first week of every homestand, the rest of the way. Moeller's 1-2, golfed in the air off to the right and back to the seats.
I think the players would agree with that sentiment, Len. You know, when the weather's good like this, as you said, a little crisp today, but sun shining, no precipitation. You can get on the field, you can get your work in every day, do the things you need to do to prepare for a ball game. You start to get the rain and the slush and the snow. Wrigley Field is not the most conducive ballpark to getting your work in the cage. You got to make your way all the way out there underneath the right field bleachers. Very limited space out there.
Keppinger again, backpedaling, dropped it. Ball must have gone right through the sun.
I don't think there's any question he was fighting the sun the whole way out there. You can see the shadows on the Astro defenders. As Keppinger goes back, he's looking right up into the sun at the last instant. Tried to make the basket catch, hits his glove and drops to the ground. Marlon Byrd will reach ahead of Derek Lee.
One ball, no strikes.
Big numbers for D. Lee against the Astros right-hander. 350 lifetime hitter, 3 home runs.
Wade Robertson beat Cole Hamels today in Philadelphia. Marlins 2, Phillies nothing, the final. Good matchup of lefties in that one. Could be 2, goes 5, 4, 3. So Keppinger's error doesn't hurt Houston. Off to the 9th. Cubs holding on by a run. Coy Hill now catching as Carlos Lee leads off the 9th against Carlos Marmol. And he got under it. Tyler Colvin in left. 1 pitch, 1 out. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Coy behind the plate.
Marmol, the closer on the mound. Coy Hill, the closer behind the plate today.
Ramirez can't get it off the glove of Terrio. I don't think he gets Pence either way. And it's a 1-out single. Of all the guys coming up in this inning, you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
I worry most about the guy coming up right now, Jeff Blum, who has been a Cub killer in his career.
Ramirez was shading maybe a step or two toward the foul line down at third base. That prohibited him from getting to that ball. Terrio only could get a glove on it. With Hunter Pence's speed, I don't think Terrio had a shot.
Couldn't hold up.
Quick check on Hunter Pence over there at first base. We mentioned he's got good speed, good foot speed. It hasn't really developed into good base stealing speed at this stage of his career. He had 14 last year, 11 each of the 2 previous seasons. He also was thrown out 11 times last year.
Not sure what that pitch was. It was kind of a tweener, 89 miles an hour.
A funny reaction by Coy Hill behind the plate as well. Normally Marmol is four-seam fastball, hard slider. There's no question. That time kind of an in-between pitch, maybe a slider that just didn't take a break.
And a little bobble as Pence took off for second and steals the bag. So the Astros had 2 shots at it now.
Pretty good jump by Pence over there at first base. Coy Hill just lost the handle on the baseball. I think that was going to be a close play at second base the way Coy throws the ball.
Terrio sneaks in behind the runner. Now goes back. Check, swing, foul. 2-2.
Well, this is where Carlos Marmol's ability to miss bats becomes huge. Love to see a couple of strikeouts here to end this one and strand Hunter Pence out there at second base. You have to believe Dave Clark's going to be extremely aggressive with Tommy Manzella and Humberto Quintero, the next 2 scheduled hitters.
Jeff Blum into right is going to tie it. There's that guy again. An RBI double to make it 2-2. Can't tell you how many times Jeff Blum has done exactly that.
It really is remarkable. Having a very quiet afternoon up until this one, sitting on a Carlos Marmol slider. Not a horrible pitch, but got the barrel of the bat on it. Was able to keep it fair down into that right field corner. Most left-handed hitters on that Marmol slider will pull that pitch foul.
So Marmol blows his first save in his last 16 chances. And it's a new ball game. And still only 1 out, and Blum is in scoring position. And the 0-1 to Manzella is, well, it looked like Uccione was going to call a strike and then did not. 1-1. There has been a long debate over the word clutch, whether or not that actually exists. I guess a lot of it is semantics. Derek Jeter has been the subject of that sort of discussion. My take would be Derek Jeter is really good as opposed to clutch. But if you are arguing for the clutch stat or whatever it would be, I think Jeff Blum would be a guy you'd point out because he's not a superstar player. In a lot of ways, he's kind of a super utility guy. And anecdotally, what we've seen is he seems to thrive at big spots. Way inside.
Seems to have his best at bats of a ball game late with a chance to give his team a lead or tie up a ball game.
Game-winning home run for the White Sox in the World Series against Houston. And I could give you several different examples of big game-winning hits against the Cubs. This one a game tire. Manzella strikes out, 2 away.
Don't overlook the value of preparation, knowing who you're going to face in those situations. What are they likely to try to do to get me out, and how can I make an adjustment to that? And the veteran Blum has been around for a long time. He's seen a lot of different pitchers try to get him out a lot of different ways.
Burdack the lefty, Lindstrom the hard-throwing closer is the righty. It'll be Burdack most likely, although I believe Muller could still be in there in the ninth, and it would be Lindstrom if they get the lead. So Toll's batting for Quintero with Michaels in the pitcher spot. Swing and a miss. 0-2 on J.R. Tolles, who had 3 hits, including a home run on Saturday. pop up on the infield. Ryan Theriot one-hands it. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. It's 2-2, and the Cubs have a chance to win it with Ramirez leading off. Tying the game with an RBI double in the top of the ninth. And lefty Tim Burdack will work with J.R. Tolles here in the bottom of the ninth as the Cubs will send up Ramirez, Colvin, and Fukudome.
Tolles into the game cold as a pinch hitter, now takes over behind the plate, and because he was at the plate when the inning ended, it took him a long time to get his gear on. He had one warm-up toss. That was the throw to second base, which he bounced into second. Not that the Cubs are going to take advantage. We don't run much. Everybody knows that, and especially Ramirez leading off an inning. Very little chance he's going to attempt to steal a base, but you've got a cold-arm catcher in the game right now.
Here we go. Now, unless Ramirez ends the game with a home run, we will see a left-handed batter in this inning. And we'll probably see back-to-back lefties. And before you second-guess the manager, Lou set up his lineup for defense with a lead. You don't set it up for a tie game when you're leading 2-0 in the 8th inning. That's why Colvin and Fukudome are back-to-back, and that allowed Brad Mills to use this left-hander in this inning. Talk about that all the time. Sometimes you get hamstrung in extra innings when you have a late comeback by the other team, and the reason is you don't manage for the 11th or 12th. The 2-1. Ooh, swing and a miss. Hurts my back just to watch that. But that's his swing.
Hopefully the Cubs will end it before it goes 11 or 12 innings, but should it go that far, the advantage shifts back to the Cubs as you see the big swing from Ramirez. Burdack, the only lefty Brad Mills has available out of his bullpen. The other 6 pitchers down there all right-handed. So those lefties, if we go on, we'll get their chances.
Full count, 3-2. There are a few rules of thumb as it pertains to extra innings. The road team generally will not use its closer until they have the lead. Swing and a miss. So Burdack strikes out Ramirez.
Again, another pitch outside part of the plate, maybe outside corner, middle of the thighs. Ramirez trying to pull that pitch. He wanted to end this with one swing. However, that was not a pitch he could do it with.
Colvin pops it up. Center. Manzella had a better angle on it.
It's usually something that middle infielders and outfielders as well will talk about before an inning starts. When you go back out to take your position every inning, you check the position of the sun, you check the flags, and make sure you communicate properly on those balls that are popped high in the air.
Kosuke swinging and missing. Neither team has gone to extras to this point. 1-1. Astros scoring 1 in the 8th and then 1 in the 9th to knot it up. In that 20-inning game, the Mets and Cardinals yesterday, that's a pretty bizarre circumstances. Joe Mather took the loss for St. Louis on the mound. He came in as a pinch hitter in the 10th. Went 2 for 6 at the plate. Played center field, third base, and pitched. The 3-1. There's ball 4 to bring up Jeff Baker. The wind is still blowing in. Well, you get into these possible last at bat win situations, and at this point, whichever team does win, it'll be a last at bat win. Some guys shoot for the fences in these spots. This is not the day to do that.
I guess it's always possible to hit one out. It would have to be a low line drive. Stay as best underneath the wind as you possibly could, and it would probably have to be toward the basket out there in left center field or right down the line. You could just hit one in the gap in right center and score Fukudome from first base.
That's a better bet. 3-0. All of a sudden, Burdack losing the strike zone with Coy Hill on deck. This will be the only inning for Burdack if he gets through it. The spot will be up in the 10th. 3-1. Sinker baller Chris Sampson up in the Astros bullpen. Popped up by Baker. Wynn pushing that foul.
Fortunately, wasn't hit high enough in the air for any Astro defenders to get underneath it, especially Jeff Blum, who was holding on Fukudome at first base and could not get back there quickly enough. With a little jam shot floater. You saw the late start by Blum. He was the only Astro that might have had a chance to catch that ball. Now Fukudome will be on the move now, hit that gap.
Fukudome runs on the 3-2. He can pull up at second after the second straight walk by Burdak. Coy Hill came in the bottom of the top of the ninth to catch. As Brad Arnsberg, the Astros pitching coach, will head out.
Coy Hill obviously not part of the starting lineup today. Astros just want to make sure they know exactly what they want to do here against Coy Hill with the possible winning run at second base.
Fontenot and Marmel's spot on deck. The Cubs did not have a straight up right-handed hitter available off their bench. 4 lefties and a switch hitter. That's why Fontenot on deck. Well, batting right-handed. Here we go. Way outside. Ball 1. Two and 0.
Well, this is where you really have to keyhole as a hitter. One pitch, one zone. You don't get it, take it.
And he took it. Two and 2.
Really haven't seen much of Coy Hill as a right-handed hitter in his time here in Chicago, but watching him in batting practice, I would have to say he's a better high ball hitter as a righty, better low ball hitter as a lefty. That's the way most switch hitters are. I think Coy is no exception. That's that ball up from the right side.
Winning run at second base as Burdak fakes that way. Here it is. Ground ball foul.
Talked about the outfield arms for the Astros. Bourne accurate and fairly strong in center. Pence with a strong arm in right field. Probably the weakest arm defensively is Carlos Lee in left. All the Astros outfielders playing relatively shallow with that wind howling in from center field. They want to give themselves a shot to throw out Fukudome at the plate should Coy Hill get one on the grass to the outfield. Ooh, that would help a lot right here is ball 3. Run the count to full, get those runners in motion. It would enhance your chances of scoring that run on a base hit.
Popped in the left. Routine for Carlos Lee, and for the first time this season, we're off to extras at Cubs Strand 2. It's a 2-2 tie after 9.
throw. We stand knotted at 2 here as Sean Marshall takes over on the hill for the Cubs.
He's going to face pinch hitter Jason Michaels or Tim Burdack.
Marshall probably just going to work the 1 inning unless I missed an announcement somewhere. His spot is due to lead off the bottom half of the 10th inning.
Yeah, I think he's the only guy who came in. You're right. And that's scalded out into right center. Michaels makes the turn and has a leadoff double.
Not even allowing Sean Marshall to get comfortable out there on the mound. A fastball on the outside part of the plate. Michael stays right on it. You can see that ball slicing further and further away from Marlon Byrd. Did a nice job of getting to that ball before it rolled all the way to the vines.
Bourne excellent with the bat, and his job is to get Michaels to third. Cornermen are already pulled way in. Squares to bunt, pops it, foul. Cubs' longest start of the season wasted today. Ryan Dempster went into the 8th, 7 2/3, was charged with 1 run. But he will get a tough no decision. Throw to second. Job by Terrio just to keep that ball from getting into center. Throw that tailed a little bit.
Throwing that ball right into the teeth of the wind. If you don't have a good grip across the seams, that ball's going to react like a sinker. You can see that ball moving further and further away from second base.
Tall lefty ready for a 1-1. Here it comes. The bunt goes toward third, and Ramirez can only throw to first with nobody at third except Jason Michaels. And here comes Larry Rothschild.
Bourne gets the job done, bunts that ball hard to third base, keeping it away from the left-handed throwing Sean Marshall, who might have had a shot at third base. Ramirez had no choice but to come in. If he lets that ball go, it looked like it might have gone into foul territory. Bourne would have had a decision to make whether to continue to bunt with 2 strikes or perhaps swing away and try to pull a ball to the right side. But as it is, Ramirez made the play to get the out at first base.
I want to repeat something you mentioned earlier in this series, and that is there are times when you'd rather face Carlos Lee than Jeff Keppinger, and I think this is one of those times because Keppinger makes excellent contact, and that's what the Astros need. The infield is in. Michaels came way up the line as Keppinger showed bunt, and he took it for ball 1.
A late reaction by the Cubs infield as Keppinger squared to bunt there. It might have just been an intentional ploy by Brad Mills to show bunt, pull the bat back just to see how the defense did react. Michaels was bluffing down the line at third, maybe the old fake squeeze.
They pitch out, wondering if they would try a squeeze. Sampson and Lindstrom are up. They pitch out once again. If the Cubs walk Keppinger, they do set up a double play chance.
And you got a hitter coming to the plate in Pedro Feliz who will swing and miss. They're going to go ahead and walk Keppinger intentionally. They're well aware of his ability to make contact, put the ball in play. And as you mentioned a moment ago, that's the most dangerous thing right now. Feliz, a swing and miss guy who can execute a good pitch, possibly get a ground ball. We'll see how the Cubs play it defensively. I'm guessing they'll play their middle infielders back and the corner infielders in. Sometimes in a tie game in extra innings, you just try to get the percentages in your favor as best you can. And I think that was ultimately a good move.
That's golfed high in the air, and that'll get the go-ahead run in as Bird makes a catch and sends it toward the plate. Not in time. That's a nice throw by Marlon Bird, but he was just too deep out in left center. Pedro Feliz with a go-ahead sacrifice fly. The Astros with their first lead of the day, and it comes in the top of the 10th.
Well, Feliz went down and golfed that ball high in the air. Sean Marshall trying to keep the ball down, get that desired grounder, maybe a double play to get out of the inning, but somehow Feliz managed to get the barrel of the bat underneath that low pitch, lofted that high fly ball to center for the RBI.
So Michael's in. Keppinger still at first, and Marshall will throw over with Carlos Lee at the plate. Cubs will likely have Mike Fontenot pinch hitting to lead off the bottom of the 10th with Terrio and Bird to follow against Matt Lindstrom. Kick and a 1-0. For all the problems the Astros have had offensively, they have gotten to the Cubs' two best relievers here in the early going. Fukudome guarding against the sun, finds the ball, and that's it. Leadoff double eventually leads to the go-ahead run. It's 3-2 Astros. Double, and the go-ahead run, he stays in and plays left for Carlos Lee. Brad Mills inserts Lindstrom into that spot in the order.
Lindstrom's numbers so far this season, it figures to get a little warmer in that area around home plate. Lindstrom really throws the ball hard, upper 90s with the fastball, hard late breaking slider. Fontenot will pinch hit for Sean Marshall, hoping to get it started here for the Cubs in the bottom half of the 10th.
1 to tie, 2 to win. Could not get to Lindstrom yesterday as he struck out 2. And notching his first save of the season. Second chance in as many days. And a fastball strike. Basically, Lindstrom four-seam fastball and a good slider. I would say that is pretty common for closers. A hard fastball and one other pitch. Went around 0-2.
And not really much finesse either. He's not trying to hit spots. He's just aiming for the middle of the plate and letting it go. Could be the slider here.
Called strike 3. As it just stayed over the plate, apparently. Caught the inside corner.
Drop down mid-thigh. Might have been a little higher when across the front of home plate as you get a side look, but too close to take with 2 strikes.
Matt Lindstrom is from Rexburg, Idaho. I know you've spent some time in Boise. Have you ever been to Rexburg?
Not to the best of my knowledge, no.
It's kind of a vague answer.
Oh, you know.
Were you thrown in the back of a trunk for a week during your life? Were you not sure where you went?
Blindfolded and kidnapped, yeah, I don't know. Smelled like potatoes. It could have been Rexburg, I don't know.
1 strike to Terrio. Feliz even with a base over third and hugging the line. And Matt Lindstrom will make you do that.
That ball looks so appetizing when you see it up there above the belt, maybe up above the letters. Looks like a good pitch to get after, but you better be really, really quick with that top hand if you're going to swing at that high fastball in the upper to mid to upper 90s. Terrio could find a way to reach. Lindstrom doesn't really cut down on his delivery with runners on base. It would appear that it would be easy to steal a base against him. Big part's getting on base.
Cubs had a chance to close out this series with a win and a 4-2 homestand, but the Astros came back late and now lead in the 10th. Cubs are in danger of dropping 2 games below 500. The 2-2. He's running full. As you would expect, Jason Michaels gives Terrio a lot of room down the left field line, trying to pinch the gap, assuming Terrio's not going to really get around a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Playing him really short in center and right field, basically because of the conditions here today. Bourne very shallow in center, as is Hunter Pence out there in right field. They're playing Ryan Terrio like a left-handed pull hitter in the outfield.
Called strike 3. Ontario really giving it to Chris Guccione.
I have to believe Ryan thought that pitch was low. That four-seam fastball that we've been talking about since Lindstrom came into the ball game. Ontario watched it all the way into the glove. It might have been at the bottom of the kneecaps when it crossed the front of home plate. Tolles caught it a little bit low behind the plate. Man.
Bird with a 2-run hit in the third. The Cubs have not scored since. Lindstrom trying to get his 22nd career save. Former Florida Marlin. The pitch chopped off the plate. That's foul.
Now you have to battle. This is when you occasionally see some funny looking line drives to the right side. Trying to fight off that high velocity fastball just to stay alive up there. You cannot afford to guess anything right here. You just have to react to what you see and react quickly.
Lee on deck. A rare quiet afternoon at the plate for Derek. 0 for 4. There's a base hit. Marlon Byrd is 3 out of 5.
A scout right on a report one time. This guy could pull a bullet. I think that goes for Marlon Byrd. 96-mile-an-hour fastball, belt high inside part of the plate. Gets a barrel on it and drives that ball through the left side of the infield.
If anyone could drive one out of here on this type of wind, we've seen Derek do it before. Remember a game against the New York Mets. I think we both said he's not going to hit a home run in this spot, and he hit a game winner. The 1-0 pitch, he's staying away from him.
Well, then we talk all the time about third base coach Mike Quaddy and a lot of the things that have to go through his mind in preparation for possibly sending a runner, holding a runner. What do you do? What's the situation? We talk about the outfielder's arms with the runner at second, but with the runner at first, it's more about the relay man's arm. The shortstop or the second baseman, whoever happens to take the throw from the outfield on a gapper, what kind of arm do they have? Jeff Keppinger, very accurate, but not the strongest arm in the world. We don't know much about Manzella at this point, but hopefully we're going to find out.
The 2-1 pitch.
Good rip at that one. Just underneath that fastball. Very similar to the pitch before, a called strike. D. Lee just missed it.
The 2-2 offering, a swing and a miss, and the Astros hang on 3-2. 3 strikeouts in the 10th for Matt Lindstrom. And the Astros win their first series of the season, and the Cubs will get back to the road at 5-7. The final in 10, Houston 3, the Cubs 2. We'll be back.